Hello everyone. Welcome to the channel Wealth Management Facts. Today, I'm going to explain to you why budgeting is the first step to wealth. Now, the definition of budgeting is the process of planning how you are going to spend your money. A budget shows how much money you will have coming in and how much money you will have going out at a certain period. It's simple. The concept is actually very simple, but actually practicing it, doing it, is not as easy as it sounds. I remember when I was young, I never thought that I would ever need a budget or a financial plan because I had enough money coming in. You know, I had 2 jobs. So I always had enough money, sometimes too much money. And one day, I got an offer from one of my employers to go work abroad. And so I said yes, and I went to live abroad. And the job sounded great. The salary was great. The place was beautiful. But unfortunately, the job turned out to be hell. My boss was just terrible. There were no benefits. And then I started thinking about leaving. But then I realized that if I leave this job, I'm going to have to find another job. And if I can't find another job, I'm going to be broke within 3 months because I didn't have any savings. And if I go back home without a good paying job, I'm going to bring shame to my family because they spent a lot of money to get me a Worker S visa. So I thought to myself, okay, I better stick around until I find another job. And so I did, and I started cutting down my expenses. And within 3 months, I managed to save up for months' living expenses. And then I was able to find another job. And then I quit this terrible job. So during those 3 months, I had a budget. Now, after I saved some emergency money, I still needed to budget until I could find another job. And I did budget for a few months until I found another job. So I had a budget for 6 months straight. And when I was budgeting, I realized that if I was budgeting for the rest of my life, I would probably be wealthy one day because I could see what I was spending my money on. And I could see that I was on really making smart financial decisions. For example, every week I bought bread, milk, cereal, eggs. Every week I went to the supermarket to buy these things, even though I knew that the next week I would buy the same things again. So I could save a lot of money if I made smart financial decisions and invested that money instead of buying bread, milk, and cereal every week. So when I was budgeting, I also included investing as part of my budget. So I started putting aside 10% of everything I earned into different types of investments. And today, through the power of compounding, that little amount has grown into thousands and thousands of dollars. Let's take a look at the story of a guy named John. John makes $4,000 a month. He buys a house and he takes a mortgage. The mortgage is $2,000 a month. He has to pay taxes and insurance. That's another $300. He has to maintain the lawn. Maybe he'll hire someone to do it for him. That's another $100 a month. He has to fix the roof, fix the air conditioning. That's another $100 a month. We have another $100 for electricity and water, and so on and so forth. In total, his expenses are $3,000 a month. Every month, he saves $1,000, and he puts that $1,000 into his savings account, and he doesn't do anything with it. He just leaves it in his savings account. Let's fast forward 20 years. What do you think he's going to have in his savings account? Well, he's going to have $240,000. That's assuming that he keeps saving $1,000 a month for the next 20 years and nothing changes. Now, let's change some things. Let's assume that John paid off his mortgage in the next 20 years. How much do you think he's going to have in his savings account now? Now let's say John is a smart guy. Instead of putting his money in his savings account, where he only gets a very low interest rate, maybe 0.01%, he starts putting his money into the stock market and he invests it. Now let's assume that the stock market returns an average of 7% per year. In the next 20 years, John is going to have over $1.6 million. The reason I shared this story with you is to help you understand the power of budgeting. If you budget, you will be able to save money. If you save money, you will be able to invest. If you invest that money and it grows, you will eventually become wealthy. Here are 5 reasons why budgeting is the first step to wealth. No. 1. When you budget, you know exactly how much you earn and how much you spend. And when you know how much you spend, you can easily identify the leakages, the things you spend your money on that don't make you happy, the things you spend your money on that don't add value to your life. By identifying these leakages, you will be able to stop spending money on them, and then you will be able to redirect that money towards investments. No. 2. Budgeting helps you prioritize. When you budget, you get to decide where your money goes. When you know exactly how much you earn, you know exactly how much you can afford to spend on certain things. Number 3. When you budget, you're more likely to achieve your financial goals. You know, when you graduate from school, one of your goals might be to buy a car. When you get a job, one of your goals might be to buy a house. When you're young, one of your goals might be to travel around the world. When you budget, you can include these goals in your budget, and you can actually work backwards. You can actually ask yourself, how much do I need to save each month in order to reach my goal? Because in order to reach your goal, you need to save. You can't just say, I'm going to save whenever I feel like it. You have to be intentional about it. You have to sit down and you have to budget. No. 4. When you budget, you're less likely to go into debt. And going into debt is the fastest way to destroy your finances. The interest payments you make on debts are so high that they can easily eat away all your earnings. They can easily eat away all your savings. Now, sometimes it is okay to go into debt, especially if you're buying a house, because the house is going to appreciate. The house is going to increase in value. Or if you're rebuying a business asset that is going to generate more money than the asset costs. Like if you buy a machine for your business, the machine will produce goods and services, and the goods and services will generate more money than the cost of the machine. However, if you buy things like clothes, vacations, furniture, cars on credit cards, you're going to ruin your finances. No. 5. When you budget, you have peace of mind. I know personally, when I budget, I have peace of mind. I know exactly where I stand financially. I know exactly how much I earn. I know exactly how much I spend. So when I go to sleep at night, I don't worry about my finances. I'm not stressed. In fact, most times I'm very excited about my finances because I know exactly how much I'm earning. I know exactly how much I'm investing, and I know exactly how much I'm going to have in the future. Well, folks, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching this video. I would love to hear any feedback you may have. If you found anything useful, interesting, if you liked the video, if you have any insights to improve, please comment in the comments section below. Please like the video. Please share it with your friends and family members. I promise you, you will find a lot of exciting information on this channel. And I promise you, we are going to make a lot more exciting videos in the future. So please stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.